Hi class, in this video I'll be working a few homework problems from section 5.2. This is adding and subtracting polynomials. Before I show you a homework problem, I just want to remind you what a polynomial is. We talked about this in class, or you've watched a few videos about this. A polynomial is an algebraic expression with two or more terms. And we can break down polynomials into binomials and trinomials. There is an algebraic word called monomial, and that refers to one term, and you can identify the terms easily because they're separated by a plus or minus sign. So in this section, I'm teaching you how to add two polynomials together or subtract them. The first question says write the polynomial in standard form. Standard form means descending order. And to put these terms in descending order, you'll need to look at the exponent that belongs to that term, and descending order is down. So I usually in class draw a set of stairs to remind you that we're going to start with the highest exponent and list them in numerical order, greatest to least. So the first term in descending order will be negative 11m to the 6th. The next one will be negative m to the 5th, then a positive 4m, then a positive 9. And that's your answer for the first part. The second part asks for you to identify the degree and the leading coefficient. It's really easy to do this once you have the polynomial in descending order. The degree of a polynomial is the highest exponent. So you would just type 6 in the box. The leading coefficient is the coefficient of the term with the greatest exponent. So in this problem, negative 11 is the leading coefficient, and that's what you would type in the box. Okay, so let's try adding two together. It says use the horizontal format to find the sum. I don't want you to panic about this phrase right here, horizontal format. All it means is add them together just straight across. This is just like the skill of collecting like terms that I taught you in a previous section. 5w plus 11w is 16w, and then positive 7 plus negative 9 is negative 2. And so this is a polynomial with two terms, so it's a binomial. 16w minus 2 is your final answer. Okay, next, use a horizontal format to find the difference. So again, this is just like collecting like terms. 7x minus 19x is negative 12x. 1 minus negative 7 is positive 8. So this is another binomial because it has two terms, negative 12x plus 8 for your final answer. Okay, let's try a subtraction problem again, except this time we're working with trinomials. But we'll approach this problem the same. I want you to collect like terms. The first term that I see is 7t to the 3rd. Now I'm going to look over here to see if there's another term that has t to the 3rd, and there's not. So this 7t to the 3rd is going to be part of our answer. The next term in the first trinomial is this negative 9t, and it does match up with another term in the second polynomial that has a t, but I can't help but notice there's a 9t squared in the second polynomial. Since the first polynomial does not have a t squared, we could actually say it has 0t squared minus 9t squared, which equals negative 9t squared. So that will be the second term in our answer. Now we can go back to the negative 9t that I circled in blue. That will be negative 9t minus negative 9t. And if we add the opposite, that now reads negative 9t plus 9t, which is 0t. And so it does not get included into the final answer. Okay, there is one more term to connect. Positive 4 minus negative 8, so that's a positive 4 minus negative 8. Again, we'll add the opposite. Positive 4 plus positive 8 is positive 12. We will put that in our answer. Now that each term from both polynomials have had a chance to collect like terms, our final answer in descending order is 7t cubed minus 9t squared plus 12. Okay, next question says find an expression for the perimeter of the figure. So remember back from your geometry days, perimeter is adding the distances of each side of the shape. The first thing I want you to do when you approach a problem like this is to count how many sides does this shape have. I'm going to start here at the top side that has a distance of 2z. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it has 8 sides. That means I need to add 8 measurements together to get the entire perimeter of this figure. And what I like to do is go ahead and draw out 8 lines, kind of like you're playing the game of hangman. And I know since it's perimeter, I'll be adding these values together. So I'll put plus signs between them. And my strategy is to pick a measurement. I'm going to go back up here and start with 2z, write that one down on my first line, and then just trace the shape in a clockwise fashion. So for example, next I would add a z, next I would add that positive 4, next I would add the positive 8, next is another positive 4, and then another z down here. And if I keep going clockwise, now I have a 2z and a 4z. Now we're going to take this very large polynomial with 8 terms and collect like terms to get our final answer. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is circle each term that has the variable z. I have 2z, z, another z, 2z, and 4z. Now I'll add those coefficients together. 2z plus z, that's 3z over here. Z plus 2z plus 4z is 7z. And then when I add those together, 10z will be part of my final answer. I have this block of whole numbers. 4 plus 8 is 12, plus 4 is 16, so that's a positive 16. So the perimeter to this shape is 10z plus 16. Okay, our last question says perform the indicated operations and simplify. This homework problem is the hardest that you'll see with polynomials. We have 3 separate polynomials, but each one of them has a term on the outside of the parentheses. So we'll use distributive property to multiply first and then combine like terms. So let's go ahead and get started by multiplying 9 times t squared plus 3. This is 9t squared plus 27. Next, negative 2 times t squared plus 3 would be negative t squared minus 6. And then we have positive 3 times t squared plus 3 is a positive 3t squared plus 9. Now to collect like terms, 9t squared minus 2t squared plus 3t squared is a total of 10t squared. Positive 27 minus 6 is positive 21 plus 9 is positive 30. Your final answer is 10t squared plus 30. But I want to show you one more thing before I stop the video. I'm going to erase the marks off the original problem. I want to show you something that you might not have noticed at first. Did you recognize that each of these parentheses have the same binomial, t squared plus 3? Because they have the same binomial, you can combine the whole numbers that are outside of the parentheses. This is 9 minus 2, which is 7, plus 3 is 10. So that would simplify to 10 parentheses t squared plus 3. And then do you see once you multiply 10 through, you would get an answer of 10t squared plus 30? And that's exactly what we got the first go around. So make sure you're paying attention to things like that. Patterns just show up. What looked like a very difficult problem was actually pretty easy. Okay, that's all for this video. Please let me know if you have any questions on your homework.